So I wonder if you've ever thought about what the difference is between joy and happiness. Joy and happiness. Are they different? Are they the same thing? I want to ask you a question about what it is that makes you happy, first of all. Maybe just turn to someone next to you and just tell them one thing that makes you happy in life. It could be anything. What makes you happy? Me? You? That's nice. Right, is anyone willing to share what they have that makes them happy? Yeah, Tom? You make each other happy. That's nice. Any more? What makes you happy? The tuck shop. Sounds good. Adam?
Riding on a ship with a giant pool.
Riding on a ship with a giant pool. Do you do that often? Yeah. Writing. Nice. Andy? Coffee?
Toys.
Huh?
Toys.
Toys? Yeah. Swimming? Yeah, Sam? Friends? Parents? Anyone else want to share? Family? Yeah, Nolly? Sweets and sushi? Not together though. No. Yeah, Jan? Sunshine? Saz? Pardon? Maternity leave, which is almost over. I don't want to... Yeah, Jim, do you have your hand up? A good night's sleep, yeah, definitely. Jackie? Being outdoors in the countryside. Colin? Going for a run. Yeah, I'm with you there. Anyone else? You got another one? Being on a jet to holiday. There's lots of things in life that make us happy, isn't there? When I was thinking about what makes me happy, I was thinking about when Man United win. Why are you laughing? It does happen sometimes. When Jonah, my son, laughs and giggles, when he sleeps through the night, I wake up and I'm happy. It's good. Sometimes Saz will say to me in the evening, or she'll say, "Shall we get a takeaway?" That makes me happy. That is good. Or maybe for you, it's like you pass a test at school. That's great. Maybe the bus turns up on time and you get to where you want to be on time. But the problem is, the things that we shared, the things that that make us happy, sometimes they don't always happen. Sometimes it doesn't always work out how we want it to be. For me, often Man United don't win. They're on a bit of a run, but they lost the last game, so I was upset. I was angry when we lost our last game. I wasn't happy. Sometimes Jonah, he cries and he's upset, and that makes me sad. Sometimes he doesn't sleep through the night, and then I'm up, and then I'm sad, and I'm tired. Sometimes Saz doesn't say, "Should we get a takeaway?" And then we have to cook and eat healthy food. It's boring. And that makes me sad. Maybe the bus is late, and you're late for where you're wanting to go. Maybe you do the test at school, and actually you get it back, and you failed. And you're sad. If things don't go the way we want them to go, or things go wrong, then happiness can just go, can't it? And we feel sadness, or we feel down, or we feel low, whatever it might be. That feeling of happiness comes from things that are kind of external, things that happen to us, whether it be good events, whether it's our comfort, whether it's success. Maybe it's relationships, whatever it might be. It rises and then it falls, depending on what happens. So what about joy? Is joy something that is different to happiness?
Happiness is something that's
Yeah. Yeah. Happiness is fleeting, joy is, I think I would say it's everlasting. Yeah. Yeah, Adam?
It's like the thing when it's a white thing and there's a red line. When you feel happy, it's like going up, and when you feel sad, angry, or down, you just go that the line, going down.
Yeah. That's helpful. So joy is up here, but sometimes it goes down when it, angry is down here. In the Bible, joy is described as a fruit of the Spirit. Joy. Joy is something that actually comes from God. It's something that comes from having a relationship with Him, rather than what happens to us or our circumstances, whatever it might be. Joy is something that actually comes from God. Happiness is temporary. When circumstances change, happiness can often fade. But joy is something that is deeper. It's stable. And actually, joy can even be found in trials, in suffering. Even in the midst of the darkest valley, joy can be found. Happiness is often quite surface level, maybe, momentary. Joy is deep. It's rooted in God's love. There's a difference between happiness and joy, I want to say today. Happiness is fleeting. Joy is something that remains, even when things go wrong. In the verses that Fred read for us, Jesus describes himself as a vine, as the true vine. And he says that we, his people, are like the branches. And he says these words, "If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing." And we have a sort of tree behind us at the back. And on the tree, or umbrella, whatever you want to call it, there are things that are connected to it. There's leaves. If those leaves were to fall off, or if we rip them off, which we won't, because Mark spent a long time putting it together, if they were real, I hate to break it to you, they're cardboard that's been painted, but if they were real, they wouldn't stay green. They'd go brown. They would wither. They're connected to the tree, so they have life. They flourish. There's green. And if it was a fruit tree, which it might become later, I don't want to spoil too much, the fruit would grow. But without being connected to the tree, it would not bear fruit. And Jesus says we're a bit like that with him. If we're not connected to him, then we won't find life. We won't find flourishing. We won't find fruit and growth. And he says, if you do not remain in me, you're like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. They're not good for anything, these branches, if they're not connected to the tree. And they're just discarded, thrown into the fire. Listen to what, I'll just read a few verses again from verse 9. It says, "As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you keep my commands, you remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love. I've told you this so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." Do you see what Jesus is saying here? He's saying that he loves us. He's saying to you today, I love you. Just as the Father loves the Son, that is the love that Jesus has for us. He deeply cares, deeply cherishes, deeply loves us. He is love. There's a verse later on in the Bible, not in John, but in 1 John, where it says that God is love. God is love. To God, loving is like us breathing. He can't help but do it. He just does it. It's not that Jesus wakes up in the morning and thinks, should I love James or not today? Should I love you or not today? He just loves. He is love. It is who he is. So he says, remain in his love. Don't forget about it. Let it shape your life. That the one who made all we can see, the one who made each of us, the one who has power over all things, the one who stood in the storm and said, quiet, be still, who has that power, deeply loves you and me. And knowing the love of Jesus is not something that he says just to kind of cheer us up, to say, oh, don't worry, I love you. He's not just saying it to make us happy, because happiness is a fleeting thing. It's based on circumstance, it's temporary. Knowing the love of Jesus brings joy. Do you hear those words? He says, I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. It's not a little bit of joy that will fade. That's more like happiness. But joy that is complete, that is full. And I wanted to show you one little thing to just illustrate this. So behind me, I have a cup and a tray. If you can't see it, it is here. An empty cup. Let me just maneuver so you can see a little bit better. Hopefully this won't go wrong. Now, imagine that we are like this cup, this glass. At the moment it's empty. Now, happiness might look a little bit like this. But it sort of comes in dribs and drabs and little by little. But sometimes things go wrong and then all the happiness is just poured out again. And then we feel empty again. That's what happiness is like. But joy, and this is where this might go wrong, so hopefully it won't. Joy is more like this.
Overflowing.
Yeah.
It's
It overflows. It keeps coming. Full to the brim all the way. That actually when things go wrong, it just keeps coming. Hopefully it won't go wrong. I'm going to stop there while I'm still safe. That's what joy is like. If you know the joy of the Christian life, then joy is like this. It just keeps coming. We overflow. I'm going to move this again.
Are you going to drink it?
I'm not going to drink it, no. Whew, we're safe. Joy overflows. It goes up to the brim and then just spills out. And one of the ways we're told in these verses to experience this joy is by loving each other as Jesus has loved us. How does Jesus love us? It says that no love has no greater one than this, that one would lay down their life for their friends. Jesus, the one who came and laid down his life for each of us. And he calls us to do that for each other. Probably not literally laying down our lives, but that kind of attitude, that heart attitude of saying, I want to be about other people. I want to put other people above myself. I want to love others. I want to care for them. I want to give myself for them. to be self-sacrificing in the way we live. As Jesus has done that for us, we can do that for one another. And through that, we find that true, deep down joy. Through that, we may even bear fruit as we remain in his love. We grow in our love, we grow in our joy, we grow in our peace. And it's joy that lasts. It really is an eternal, forever thing. But also, and I'm coming into land now, Jesus also wants us to find joy in the everyday things of life. One of the dangers in the Christian life is that we become Sunday home group, quiet time Christians. So we come to church, we go to home group, we go to boys brigade, whatever it might be, and we forget about God in the rest of our lives. What about the mundane things of life? Going to work, going to school, only 3 weeks till Easter. Washing up, cooking, cleaning the car. Did anyone wake up the other day with their car covered in dust and sand? Apparently that came from the Sahara Desert or something. We actually had our car cleaned the day before. So that was a bit of a shame. So cleaning the car again, mowing the lawn, doing the food shopping, hoovering the carpet, whatever it might be, those mundane things that we do every day. Is God present in those things? Does God care about those things? Do we acknowledge him? One thing that I am trying to do more, is to ask God to meet me even in the mundane things of life, to have an encounter with him. Saying, Lord, please would you speak to me while I do the washing up, while I mow the lawn, while you walk to school, while you get the bus into town, whatever it might be. Would we encounter Jesus in those things? Because I believe we can also find joy in the things that we do when we realize they are a gift from God, when we realize that Jesus is with us as we do them. I love sport, I love running, I love taking the dog out for a walk. These things are not separate from God. It's not that I go out and do them and then when I get home I say, oh yeah, Jesus, I'm with you now. Jesus is with us through all things. The things we do, the good things that we enjoy are gifts from him. Now maybe that's happiness, maybe that's joy, I don't know, but I think there's something in recognizing that it is God's gift to us and that he is present throughout that brings us that joy. But what about when I'm injured and I can't run? What about when my dog Harvey is really naughty in the park, which he sometimes is? We need to go back to that true joy that we find in knowing Jesus' love, that then flows out of us, that overflows, that fills us up to the brim and just keeps coming. And that we would see him and enjoy the things he's given us to and find joy in those, rooted in his love. In a moment, Mark is going to come and tell us a bit more about the tree that's behind us, and we've got some things to do with that. But before we do that, we're going to sing.
Okay, for Boys Brigade and for everybody else, you have got a task to do. It's a simple task, and each of you, if your Boys Brigade Jackie's got them, if you are sitting in one of the seats there, in front of you there is a yellow fruit. In fact, there are 3 yellow fruit, a bit like this, only this is quite a big one, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to write on each of those pieces of yellow fruit. And I'm just going to explain it stage by stage. So, this one is my fruit, and it's about joy, something that gives me joy in the ordinary things of life. Not necessarily a special time, but a simple joy that we experience. Something ordinary and simple. And this is mine. Walking with Lucy. Now, Lucy's not my girlfriend. My girlfriend is called Jo, and I'm now married to her. Okay, so it's a good job I said that, isn't it? But I love walking with my golden retriever dog called Lucy, because I often think, and I often am outside in beautiful countryside, and it just fills me with joy. So I'd like you to write one thing on each of your pieces of fruit.